want to start talking. Come on, get in a little bit.
You can stand closer.
All right, you guys all ready? Okay, my name's Curtis Fell. I'm the Rock County Sheriff. My name's spelled C-U-R-T-I-S. Last name is F-E-L-L. I want to say thank you all to coming out here tonight to help us cover this a little bit better and get the news out to those that haven't been able to get it yet. But we had, obviously, as you know already, a tornado come through Rock County. It had hit some of the other counties in Wisconsin prior to coming here. More of the technical information will be handled by the Weather Service, but to cover some things, we want to make sure everybody understands as they're dealing with some of this crisis. We've had a number of people that have suffered significant loss for their homes and some of their livelihood right now, and we're trying to take steps to help them as best we can. We don't know for sure how long some of these people will be without power. We're hoping to have it restored within the next couple days, but there's no guarantee of that. Some of it looks like it may stretch into next week, Monday or possibly Tuesday. We'll have more information forthcoming on that as we can gather it. Currently, we still have a number of roads that are closed, that are blocked off due to power lines that are down, trees that are down that are blocking it intermingled with the power lines. So we're still trying to deal with that. I would ask that the general public stay out of these areas and allow our DPW crews and the power companies to be able to take care of what they're trying to work on, to enable these people to be able to get back to their homes and get back to some sense of normalcy. We've had a large law enforcement, fire and EMS response to this area that facilitated it starting yesterday when the initial reports came in, and it made a big difference, and we went house to house and checked on everybody within the affected areas, and currently, as will be touched on shortly, they've gone and done assessments to try to figure out exactly how much stuff has been damaged, and more of that will be covered. You're going to cover it with yours, to give you a little better idea exactly what we faced and what we're looking to do here shortly. For the immediate future, we ask that those that are within the affected areas with their power and their other stuff, don't grill indoors. Please avoid that. Don't run your generators indoors because that's dangerous also. And if there's water sources that can't be run because the power's been out, make sure you get your potable water from somewhere safe. Reach out to family, reach out to your community here within Evansville area. We have a number of donations, things like that came in, including water and some food that currently is being run through the fire department, and they can help allocate that as needed. So all people have to do is let us know. We're looking to have a town hall meeting at 5 o'clock tonight for the area that's still affected under the power outage. And with that, we would ask that the general public not attend that, because we're trying to deal and we want to make sure there's room for the people that have been affected. That'll be 5 o'clock at the Evansville Fire Department. Again, not for general public, it'll be for those that are affected that may be able to see some of this or have their families communicate with them. I'm going to turn this over to Tim Hallbach from Emergency Weather Services. National Weather Service, my mistake. He can cover a lot of the technical issues that I don't want to delve into. So, Tim?
Hello, Tim Hallbach, warning coordination meteorologist for the Milwaukee National Weather Service office. We basically just finished our storm survey assessment. We had 3 teams out today looking at the damage, trying to figure out where the path started and ended and what the intensity was of those tornadoes. We just sent out information, or should be sending it out soon. We've determined 2 tornadoes happened. There was one by Albany, which we've deemed a high NDF1 tornado. The tornado here that started just east of, southeast of Evansville here, going up towards Lake Koshkonong, we've called that a high NDF2. We have one point that we're going to be considering whether or not it's EF3 level damage or not. There was some information that got out while we were on the survey that wasn't fully QC'd yet, but we're not considering it a 3 at this point. We want to look at some more aerial footage and talk with some other experts on some of the damage we saw, because some of it was large farm equipment that isn't a normal damage indicator for us when we're surveying tornadoes, to try to get an idea of what level we should call that kind of tornado. So high end EF2, we're calling it 135 mile per hour winds with what went through. The strongest looked like it was northeast of Evansville here. From last night, we had tornado warnings starting at 5:04, which covered the Albany area, and our assessment is somewhere around 5:15, 5:30-ish is when that tornado went through that area. For Evansville here, the tornado warning was out at 5:32, and from talking with people, it was around 5:40, 5:50. So for tornado warnings, that's a pretty good lead time. For like, our standards are normally about 10 to 15 minutes ahead of when a tornado like that happens. Obviously, when it happens in February like this, a lot of times people won't think that those warnings are legit, but from the people we talk to, a lot of people heard the warnings and were in their shelter, and were safe from the tornadoes. So that's the most important thing when stuff like this happens, is that people are safe and listening to the warnings. So make sure if you get a warning on your phone in the future that you react to it. Otherwise, after this, we're going to go back to the office and we'll get out more details about exactly how long the path length was and the width of the tornado and things like that. We just want to adjust things and make sure we get that right before we toss it out. But just EF1 east of, or by Albany, and then an EF2 is what we're calling it, east of Evansville here, going northeast.
Tim, when you guys were looking at this storm approaching southern Wisconsin, did it appear to be tornadic, or was it, because you're not expecting that in February?
So leading up to it, we started seeing some things that got us more concerned about the chances for tornadoes. The skies started clearing out a lot more, which made it a bit more unstable than the previous forecast has been kind of showing. So it developed right over southern Wisconsin. We had storms that started popping in northeast Iowa, but they weren't tornadic at that point. It wasn't until it got into Greene County that they started to show more signs of rotation, and that's when we started issuing tornado warnings. We issued one, we call it a considerable tornado warning, when the storm was east of Evansville here. The tornado warnings we issue are on 3 levels. There's the base ones, there's considerable, and then tornado emergency. Tornado emergency would be like F5, tornado's gonna wipe the city out type warning. We went to level 2 because we were seeing debris getting lofted 10 to 15,000 feet up in the air, which is a signature to us that a really bad tornado, a strong, violent tornado is happening. So those situations are ones that people really need to be in their shelter when something like that happens. But the signs of rotation first started showing up in Greene County.
Hey, spell your last name, Tim.
Halbach is Halbach.
What's your title?
Warning Coordination Meteorologist.
Tim, can you clarify one thing? So there was an EF1 in Albany, and then a high-end EF2 in this area.
Yep.
That's the one that you're looking at that might be upgraded to a 3, or there might be a 3rd tornado?
No, it's just 2 tornadoes. There's a point along the damage path. So whenever we declare a tornado a certain level, it's whatever the worst damage point is along that path that gets it called a 2 or a 3. So there's one point where there's a barn where you can tell the tornado went exactly through, and the most top part of the barn is all gone, but there's other large tractor equipment and stuff that's been rolled there and lofted. So that's where I want to talk with some other people that the EF2 might get raised to a 3, but we want to just consult a little bit more before we go there.
In terms of the number of homes or businesses that have been damaged, is there a preliminary number of general sense?
We're not exactly sure how severe some of the homes are damaged, but there's at least 20 or more that we know have been significantly damaged, from moderate to severe or completely destroyed. A number of us went out and looked earlier this morning in the daylight, because last night, obviously at night, it was hard to really get a better picture of it. It was pretty devastating in some of these neighborhoods, and we talked with a number of the people that live in the community. We're very thankful of the fact that no one was severely injured out of this, considering the amount of damage that was caused. Personally, I find it kind of amazing nobody got more seriously hurt. for that aspect, I couldn't be more thankful. And as far as the community response, we couldn't have asked for anything better in this area. From the first responders that came to Department of Public Works, our dispatch center, everything else stepped up and did everything we asked for it. We couldn't be more proud of the efforts that have gone into this in such a quick time, and from everybody around here, including some of the surrounding county fire departments, things like that.
Sheriff, how many people were injured?
So we only had one that was transported, and that was a person that was in a vehicle at the time that the tornado went through, or one of the tornadoes went through. Other than that, there were some minor damages or minor injuries that had occurred with a few of the people in different homes. But fortunately, none of them very severe, and none of them wanted to be transported. So considering what came through here, the fact that only one person got transported by ambulance is, almost a miracle, if you want to call it that.
Did something come into that vehicle, or was that vehicle thrown?
Well, it got kind of pushed off the road, basically.
Where was that, Chris?
I don't know which road that was on. I don't remember. I don't want to tell you something that could be inaccurate.
Obviously, big farming community, lots of livestock and animals and stuff like that. We heard just from people talking to us a few animals injured.
Yeah,
or lost.
there's. I don't know about animals lost. I know there were some that were missing that either got moved by the tornado or freed by it. I don't know which. That people are out trying to wrangle up now and get back in. We came across a number of them out in the community that were trying to get their animals back in. We did make sure, although the roads are blocked, that we allowed people back in if they wanted to go and take care of their animals and take care of what they needed to at their houses. We did try to block anybody that wasn't from here in getting in, as a number of you had noticed and talked to me about earlier. Part of the reason for that is we don't want people doing things to their homes, to the people that live there, while they're not able to be at their house. So if we seemed a little stringent, we were. But we also tried to provide every opportunity for those that live in the area to get to their homes, take care of what they need to, take care of their animals, their livestock, or what have you.
Hey, Kurt, not to dwell on this point too much, but do you know how many people you think? I mean, you had the one person transported, but I mean, you're talking like a dozen people that maybe were injured and refused transport. Any number?
I know at least about a half dozen that we had talked to from the law enforcement side that were banged up a little bit. Some that were in the house when the house basically collapsed around them.
Bruises, any cuts?
Yeah, little bruises, cuts, kind of nothing severe enough that we would, urge them, dramatically to get transported. I did talk to one family whose mom, who's elderly, was in the house, and she was standing in the middle of the living room when the roof left. The fact that she wasn't more severely hurt is phenomenal. I don't know of another term to put it, but we were real fortunate with this.
Tim, can you speak to the historic nature of this tornado in February, the first ever in recorded history?
Yeah, so obviously having a tornado in February is not normal. We're familiar with the January 2008 tornadoes that came through Kenosha County. It's the first time we've had any tornado warnings that we've ever even issued for our office in February, let alone the first tornado for the state. If anything, it's a sign that you should, any time of year we can get any kind of weather here, and it's important to be prepared for those days when a tornado like that happens. So, let alone a tornado of this magnitude, a 2 it's not very often that we get to that level of a tornado. Most of ours are 0s and 1s, and maybe you see some shingles off some houses, and it's not a big deal. But this is pretty significant damage that we've seen here for this February tornado.
Are there any other questions?
What resources would be available for the affected residents in terms of any financial assistance, anything like that? Is there coordination with the state on that? Where does that stand?
We're still in the beginning processes of that. For those that don't know it, Kevin Wernett is our new emergency management coordinator director for the county. Recently started, and he's already hit the ground running. He's been working hard on that. He came to us from the state of Wisconsin. In addition, just so everybody knows, we have Chair Bostwick from the Rock County Board with us today, and County Administrator Josh Smith. They've both been on board and informed of this since it began. really lended a lot of assistance, helped create the disaster declaration early so that we could try to get some more assistance in quicker with stuff. But I believe Kevin's office will follow up on that and be able to provide more information down the road once we clarify some of the stuff from the National Weather Service. All good? Any other questions?
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, so it seems like it
So sorry.
No, you're good. They're durable. Just gonna be a loud bang at the end of the recording.